So this tutorial is basically taking your armature that you've now built out of Z-spheres and converting them to a mesh and just doing general proportion work, trying to get it closer to what you're looking for. So to preview it, I just hit A, and it'll give me a preview of what the geometry is currently looking like, and that's not real great. I don't really like that. So that I'm going to work on. The front seems fine. So I'm at A again, and actually what I'm going to do is move this. I'm at W, and I'm going to move this forward a little bit, hit A. I don't want that diamond there, just because see how it creates like this weird pinch? I'm not a huge fan of that, so I'm just going to move this a little forward more, A. Good. See how now that's gone? And that's gone. Alright, good. But I'm going to look for things like that. There's a diamond here that's kind of hard to... So I'm just tapping A again. That's kind of hard to get rid of. There really isn't probably a way to necessarily get rid of that, so I'm going to have to live with that. Okay. And the rest of it looks kind of okay. Alright. So, if I'm happy with it, you know, I save it or whatever. Control S real quick, save. Yep, alright. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to go make Polymesh 3D, which is right up here. And that's basically, you can convert it that now I can sculpt on this, okay? And it's a poly mesh. So what I'm going to do is the same thing I did before, where basically I have some imagery. I'm just going to pause it and I'll show you the pictures real quick. Okay. Oh. Alright. So basically, I just took some pictures of myself, because I'm just using myself as the model here, and I'm just going to try and basically, you know, use this as a guide, okay? So I'm going to put this on my other monitor. If you have two monitors, this is a good opportunity to utilize that. And I'm going to use that as a guide to basically help flesh out the, you know, the model here. So usually I like to start with the, let me move this, here we go. I like to just use the move tool to try either the move tool or the move brush. So I'm just going to B, M, and V. And then I'll hold spacebar, make this a bit bigger, and I'm just going to try and basically, like I said, using that as a guide, try to fix that. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and use the move tool here. Now, if I hold control, you'll see it creates a fall off. So I'm going to do is go like that, and then go like this. I'm going to turn perspective off, go into isometric view here. And I'm going to go ahead and take this and pull this arm. Okay. So if you look, I don't have symmetry on, so I'm going to X. That way, alright, maybe I gotta, alright, so we'll just, oh, excuse me, okay, let's do this again. Alright, so I'm gonna control, and while I click and drag across, and this way it'll do it on both. So I'm gonna pull these arms out a little bit wider, okay, like so, that's a little bit better, and then, because that was the first thing I noticed, is that looked a little bit thin. This needs to be built up a little bit. It might be a little bit too far. Let's just, we'll go like that. Okay. Control, click, and drag to get rid of the mask. I'm going to go back to the brush. Oops. Sorry, just hit Q for the brush. And I am going to look at what I got here. So, shall I start from the front? So I'm just going to kind of pull this here, make this a bit bigger, and if I hold Alt and click, it'll actually pull towards the brush and back and forth. So I'm just going to kind of pull this like that, basically trying to flesh this out a little bit. It's easier to make these gross movements while the geometry is still pretty low. That's basically what I'm, you know, you don't have a ton of polys basically. So I'm just going to make these gross adjustments as much as possible. Like that. Okay. And if we look, you can see like this is obviously pretty bad. So let's get that a little bit better. Alright. I need some buttocks here. Okay. Looks a little better. And I'm going to take it's a little bit larger and push this back in a little bit. This feels a little bit lofty here, so push that in. Alright, and the head needs to be more of this kind of shape. Alright. Okay. Alright, so like I said, making some gross adjustments. Alright, okay, so I'm going to do B, S, and T for just the basic brush here. And I'm just going to try and help form some things. So I almost shift just to smooth that out, so there's a little less armpit there. Just using smooth is actually kind of good on this, because what it'll do is that it'll lose volume, because that's naturally kind of what happens when you smooth things. I'm going to hold shift and space. I'm going to take the Z intensity and bring that down a bunch, because that seems a little bit, back this up a little, seems a bit strong. So, and, oops, so I'm holding the shift to kind of smooth. Okay. And we're going to hold shift in here and smooth this wrist action out. So, just making subtle changes here. I'm going to smooth this down to make it a little bit flatter here. Okay, like so. And then I'm going to hold shift and smooth this forearm, this part here, to make it a little bit flatter there. Alright, and then we'll, oops, let me just hold space bar. I'm going to take the Z intensity down a bunch more. It's a little bit larger. Just broaden these shoulders a little bit. Okay. Alright. Alright. Okay. Alright. Need a little more girth there. This area needs to be larger. There's really not enough geometry to really support the shape there quite yet, but we can try to do what we can. Make this a bit larger. I have some thick thighs here, so I'm going to try and give this a little more lovin's here. I'm going to hold, bring this back down a little. I'm going to hold shift to kind of flatten this. Alright. Just flatten that a little bit. And I'm going to add where the gastrocnemius is, basically that large calf muscle. I'm going to hold shift and kind of smooth this and smooth this. Alright. Alright. Be a little bit much. Bring that back a little. Alright, so you can see the feet are pretty terrible right now, so I'm going to work on that. So I'm going to just do B, M, and B. Alright, so make this a little bit larger. Okay. Alright, and we're going to go in here. Actually, we'll leave that on there. I'm just going to hold shift and try to smooth this down. Alright, and shoink. Alright. And, let's see, B, S, T. I'm just going to kind of draw this out a little bit. Okay. Smooth that out. Draw out this inside a little bit. Alright. And we'll do a little bit of a knee dimple there. Let's see, I'm going to add just a touch to the bicep. A little much. Just a little bit there. And then we'll make this a bit smaller and do a dimple basically for the elbow here. Alright, feel like I need a little bit more forearm. Alright, and you can kind of see in here, this is looking a bit not as good as it could be. So, I need to basically cut this in, so I'm actually going to hold Alt and push this inwards, this palm area. That's got to go in. Alright, so you can even use Shift and Alt. Like so, to just try and get a little bit more, to make that a little bit more accurate. Okay. Alright. Alt, get in there. Alright, so kind of feel what needs to happen is that this needs to, I feel like this area kind of needs to unfold a little bit. So what I'm going to do is try to use see the rotate here. We'll hold Control, and let's try that again. Control. All right. I kind of want to get. Trying to get basically this part here. Let's try again. I'll do it like that. And then what I'm going to do is just hold the draw tool, hold Control, it's a bit smaller, Control, and mask this part all out. Alright. Okay. And now what I'm going to do, oops, wrong one. Hold Control and basically try to brush out these fingers here and leave them where they are. Okay. Alright. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Masking, and I'm going to go to Blur Mask. And then I'm going to go back to the Rotate again. And I'm going to draw it like that. And then I'm going to try and pull this out a little bit wider. Just to kind of, in the hopes that that might help. Alright, Control, click and drag. I don't know if that really made it look that much better. Okay. Control, click and drag. Alright, so, feels a little weird right there. So, I do need a little bit more of a palm. So I'm going to kind of draw in a little bit more in here. More of an area. Oops. Alright. A little bit there. BMV. Like that. And then it's a little smaller. Smooth that down a little. Okay. Pull that out a little there. Okay. Alright, and okay. So I'm going to say for general, size up a little bit. Thick on the inside. I'm just going to smooth that a little bit. Okay. Right. This should be a little bit, oops, BST. Pull this out just a touch. Okay. Alright, I would say for general portions and stuff, this is not great, but it shall do. Alright, so that should get me, I would spend more time on it and make it look better, but for the purposes of doing it relatively quickly, we're going to say that that's good as far as the low poly thing is concerned. Alright.